The Pied Piper of Hamelin, Part 1. Once upon a time, there was a small town in Germany called Hamelin. A lot of people lived there. The houses in the town were old and close together. All towns have some mice and rats, but Hamelin had rats everywhere. There were rats in the streets, the houses, and on the roofs of the houses. Rats, rats, rats everywhere. Town, town. Germany, Germany. Houses, houses. Old, old. Close, close. Mice, mice. Rats, rats. Streets, streets. Roofs, roofs. Mark T for true or F for false. There was a small town in France called Hamelin. A lot of people lived there. Hamelin had rats everywhere. The Pied Piper of Hamelin, Part 2. The rats even jumped into people in the streets. They jumped into people's shoulders, onto their hats, and they bit their arms and legs. They even tried to eat their clothes. They jumped into women's baskets. They jumped onto the horses and carrots. And the rats were huge. Children were afraid of them and ran away. It was terrible. Jumped, jumped. People, people. Shoulder, shoulder. Terrible, terrible. Arm, arm. Legs, legs. Close, close. Woman, woman. Basket, basket. Horse, horse. Carts, carts. Huge, huge. Children, children. Hats, hats. Choose the right word. Baskets, ran. Legs, clothes. Shoulders, hats. They jumped onto people's, onto their, and they bit their arms and they even tried to eat their. They jumped onto women's. Children were afraid of them and away. The Pied Piper of Hamelin, Part 3. The rats were everywhere in the houses too. They were in cupboards. They were on shelves. They ate chicken and other food. They bit the cooks. The cats didn't chase the rats. The rats chased the cats. And the poor dogs were very unhappy too. Cupboards, cupboards. Shelves, shelves. Chicken, chicken. Cooks, cooks. Cats, cats. Dogs, dogs. Poor, poor. Unhappy, unhappy. Mark T or F. The rats bit the cook. The cats chased the rats. The dogs were happy. The Pied Piper of Hamelin. Part 4. The people of Hamelin were very angry. One day, they went to see the mayor. "Get rid of the rats," man shouted, "or we'll get rid of you." Angry, angry. Mayor, mayor. Shouted, shouted. Get rid, get rid. The Pied Piper of Hamelin. Part 5. The next day, the mayor was in the town hall with the town councillors. "What can we do?" he asked. "The people are angry. We must do something. We must get rid of the rats." "It's impossible," the town councillors said. "We can't do anything." Town hall, town hall. Councillors, councillors. Impossible, impossible. Who was in the town hall? The Pied Piper of Hamelin. Part 6. At that moment, the door opened. A strange man came in. He was tall and thin. His hair was the color of gold. His clothes were strange too. They were red and gold. He had a big hat on his head with a huge white feather. And in his hand he had a musical instrument, a kind of flute called a pipe. "I can get rid of the rats," the strange man said quietly. "Who are you?" the mayor asked. Strange, strange. Tall, tall. Thin, thin. Red, red. Gold, gold. Flute, flute. Feather, feather. Musical instrument, musical instrument. What did the strange man look like? What did the strange man say? What did the strange man had in his hand? The Pied Piper of Hamelin. Part 7. "My name is the Pied Piper," the man said. "I come from a faraway country. How can you get rid of the rats? Asked the mayor. You will see very soon, the Pied Piper replied. But first tell me, how much you will pay me? We'll give you 10,000 marks, said the mayor. 10,000? The Pied Piper said. Too much. I will take 1,000 marks. This is enough. When will you start? The mayor asked. Now, the Pied Piper replied. Country, country, pay, pay, thousand, thousand, too much, too much, enough, enough, start, start, now, now. What was the man's name? How much, said the mayor, he'll pay. The Pied Piper of Hamelin, Part 8. The Pied Piper took his pipe from the table. He went outside and he began to play a tune. He went along one street, and then he went along another street. He went along all the streets of the town. Table, table. Outside, outside. Another, another. Tone, tone. Mark true or false. The Pied Piper went outside, and he began to play a tune. The Pied Piper went only along one street. The Pied Piper of Hamelin, Part 9. The Pied Piper played a strange tune. It was music from a faraway country. Nobody can forget music like that. And suddenly, 1, 2, 3 rats, then 10, then 20, then 50, then 100, and then 1,000 rats all began to follow the Pied Piper. They jumped onto chairs and onto tables. Then they jumped out of the windows of the houses. They came through doors and gates. They came from holes in the walls. Soon there was thousands and thousands of rats in the streets. Music, music. Chairs, chairs. Holes, holes. Gates, gates. Windows, windows. Walls, walls. What kind of music played the Pied Piper? What did the rats do after hearing the music? The Pied Piper of Hamelin, Part 10. The rats followed the Pied Piper. He went to the left, and then to the right. He went down one street and then another. At last, he came to the river. He never took the pipe from his mouth. The strange music never stopped. The Pied Piper got into a small boat. The rats followed him. They went into the water, and they drowned. They all drowned. Soon there was not one rat in Hamelin. River, river, stopped, stopped. Boat, boat, drowned, drowned. What did the Pied Piper do at the river? What happened to all the rats? The Pied Piper of Hamelin, Part 11. The people of Hamelin were very happy. Hooray! They cried and they waved their arms in the air. We have a wonderful mayor. 3 cheers for our mayor. The mayor was very pleased. He walked up and down the streets. He liked to be important. Suddenly he looked around. There was the Pied Piper. The Pied Piper smiled, waved, waved. Air, air. Wonderful, wonderful. Important, important. Was the mayor happy? The Pied Piper of Hamelin, Part 12. What do you want? The mayor asked. I got rid of the rats. The Pied Piper said quietly. May I have my 1,000 marks now? 1,000 marks? That's ridiculous, the mayor said angrily. You got rid of those rats in 1 hour. 1,000 marks for 1 hour's work? The people of the town began to laugh. The Pied Piper said nothing. Ridiculous, ridiculous. Hour, hour. Work, work. Laugh, laugh. Nothing, nothing. Mark T or F. The mayor paid the Pied Piper 1,000 marks. The people of the town began to laugh. The Pied Piper of Hamelin, Part 13. Who is this man? The mayor said to the people of Hamelin. He plays his pipe and then he asks 4,000 marks. Am I a fool or is he? And everybody laughed. And then the Pied Piper began to play a new tone. Again, it was music from a faraway country. Music that goes into your head and into your heart. Asks, asks. Fool, fool. The Pied Piper of Hamelin, Part 14. The Pied Piper went down one street, and then another. A child began to follow him. Then another child began to follow him, and another and another. Soon there were 10 boys and girls behind the Pied Piper. Then there were 20, 30, 40, 50. Heart, heart, head, head, child, child, boys, boys, girls, girls. What did the Pied Piper play this time? What happened to the children when they heard the music? The Pied Piper of Hamelin, Part 15. Before long, every boy and girl in Hamelin was following the Pied Piper. They all followed him through the town. The Pied Piper and all the children went out of the town. They went over a bridge. Then they walked through the fields. Soon they came to some mountains. Bridge, bridge, fields, fields, mountains, mountains. Mark T or F. The Pied Piper and the children stayed in town. They went over a bridge. Soon they came to some mountains. The Pied Piper of Hamelin, Part 16. At last, they came to two huge doors in the side of a mountain. The doors opened. It was magic. The Pied Piper went in, and all the children followed him. Then the doors closed. The children and the Pied Piper disappeared. Magic, magic. Closed, closed. Disappeared, disappeared. Mark T or F. They came to three huge doors. The children and the Pied Piper disappeared. It was magic. The doors didn't open. The Pied Piper of Hamelin, Part 17. But one little boy had a bad leg. He walked very slowly. He reached the door, but it was closed. He went slowly back to the town. Where are our children? Where did they go? The unhappy mothers and fathers cried. But the poor boy had no answer, and nobody ever saw the children of Hamelin again. Bad, bad. Leg, leg. Mothers, mothers. Fathers, fathers. Poor, poor. Answer, answer. Why did the little boy walk slowly? What did the mothers and fathers do?